There's a question that I just spotted, um, which made me smile when I read it. And it's about false names, which I think is super interesting. And I think obviously because I pitched my presentation to make clear that the AML regime is not changing. It doesn't the bite of the AML regime, I quite like that word now, doesn't change when at all. That it stayed the same. So when we're thinking about false names, yes, there is going to be a level of expectation for you to make sure that you understand who you're working with. Um, Again, separately to the AML regime, the steps that you take to understand that person's identity and get comfortable is a little bit up for subjective interpretation of how you do that. And again, firms can do that differently. Yes, you can. And Igita will definitely talk to this from a practical point of view, knowing your firm. You can apply a firm-wide approach to AML and whether the work that you're doing falls within regulated or not, you can deploy measures in the same way that you would under the AML regime. But that is for you to make that decision and assessment on as to what is going to make you sleep at night comfortably, what is going to make you feel like you know who you're working for and your clients. And it might not be right for all firms to go down that full AML path, and you may be able to get comfort with from somebody's identity differently. But yes, if you don't check the right person, potentially you're going to leave yourself open. So you do need to make sure, I would say, as part of this process, that you really do know, and you know somebody's legal name and that you are checking. And potentially, in some cases, if you've got a really high risk scenario where you are genuinely, I would say, quite concerned, often from my experience of practically doing checks, and working within law firms of doing sanctions checking, often I would check two or three different variations as well of names in those really high risk situations where I've maybe, I don't know, found some negative information. I found a suggestion that makes me want to be more curious. And I would play around and make sure that I'm really happy that I don't have a match and I've really exhausted all avenues. But yeah, you do need to be comfortable in somebody's identity in order for sanctions checking to be effective.